Hello, I'm Sebastian. Welcome to Nine Nar Trees podcast. Today, I will summarize and review the book. The Art of Manifesting by Colette Baron-Reid presents a creative, meditative approach to personal change that blends mindset work with a drawing-based practice. Rather than treating manifesting as wishful thinking, the book frames it as a way to shift perception, regulate emotions, and build new inner patterns that influence daily choices. Baron-Reid, known for intuitive and spiritual teaching, invites readers to use simple visual exercises as a bridge between intention and action. The method is designed to be accessible even for people who do not identify as artists, focusing on process over aesthetics. Across the book, drawing becomes a tool for clarifying what you want, noticing limiting beliefs, and cultivating a calmer, more receptive state. The overall tone emphasizes self-trust, experimentation, and consistency. Readers are encouraged to work with symbols, prompts, and reflection so they can align their attention with desired outcomes while staying grounded in practical steps and real-life constraints. I will give you key takeaways from this book. Firstly, manifesting as attention training rather than magical thinking. A central idea in the book is that your reality is shaped by what you repeatedly notice, believe, and act on. Instead of presenting manifesting as a shortcut to bypass effort, the approach reframes it as attention training, learning to direct awareness toward what supports your goals and away from patterns that keep you stuck. The practice starts with intention, but it quickly moves into examining the inner conditions that make an intention sustainable. Readers are guided to recognize how stress, fear, and self-doubt can narrow perception and lead to reactive decisions, even when a person claims to want something different. By emphasizing a meditative rhythm, the process aims to calm the nervous system and make room for new interpretations of events. This matters because interpretation influences behavior. When you interpret setbacks as proof you cannot succeed, you stop taking useful actions. When you interpret them as feedback, you adjust and continue. The book uses drawing as an anchor to keep attention steady, helping readers observe mental habits in real time. In that sense, manifesting becomes less about forcing outcomes and more about creating inner alignment that naturally changes what you do, who you connect with, and which opportunities you recognize. Secondly, meditative drawing as a pathway to rewiring patterns. The book positions meditative drawing as a practical way to interrupt autopilot thinking and establish new mental grooves. Many people struggle to change through willpower alone because old patterns are reinforced by repetition and emotion. A quiet, tactile practice such as drawing can slow down the loop between thought and reaction. By focusing on shapes, lines, and symbols, readers engage attention in a non-verbal channel, which can make it easier to notice feelings and beliefs without immediately arguing with them. The promise of rewiring is framed as a process. Repeated states and repeated focus create familiarity, and familiarity can become a new default. The drawing practice is also presented as inclusive. You do not need technical skill because the goal is not performance but presence. This emphasis reduces the pressure that often sabotages self-improvement routines. As you draw, you practice staying with uncertainty, tolerating imperfection, and returning to your intention when the mind wanders. Those skills translate into everyday life, where goals are achieved through repeated course correction. In addition, the practice can function like a personal lab. Each session becomes a record of what you were focused on, what you resisted, and what helped you settle. Over time, the accumulated pages can show progress that is easy to miss day to day. Thirdly, working with symbols, intuition, and inner guidance. Another key theme is the use of symbolism and intuitive insight to uncover what you truly want and what might be blocking it. The book treats symbols as a language of the psyche. Images can carry emotional meaning faster than words and can reveal hidden assumptions. Through prompts and reflective exercises, readers are encouraged to explore recurring images that represent desires, fears, resources, and possible next steps. This is not presented as fortune-telling, but as a structured way to access inner guidance, especially when the rational mind is stuck in pros and cons. The act of choosing a symbol forces clarity. If you represent your goal as an image, you must decide what it looks like, how it feels, and what elements matter most. That clarity can expose contradictions, such as wanting freedom while clinging to control or wanting success while fearing visibility. The intuitive layer also helps readers practice self-trust. Many people abandon goals because they outsource authority to external validation and then feel lost when advice conflicts. By learning to interpret their own symbolic cues, readers can build a steadier relationship with decision-making. The book also encourages discernment. Intuition is strengthened by calmness and honesty, not by urgency. When readers pair symbolism with reflection, they can translate insights into concrete experiments and healthier boundaries. Fourthly, releasing limiting beliefs and emotional resistance. A major barrier to manifesting is not a lack of desire, but the presence of resistance, including beliefs that you are unworthy, incapable, or destined to repeat the past. The book addresses this by encouraging readers to identify the internal narratives that keep them looping. Meditative drawing becomes a gentle way to surface resistance without triggering defensiveness. When you draw what fear looks like, or give shape to a recurring doubt, you externalize it. Once it is on the page, it can be examined with curiosity rather than fused with identity. This shift matters because people often say, "I am anxious" or "I am bad with money," when the more useful framing is, "I am experiencing anxiety" or "I have a pattern around money." The book emphasizes compassion and patience, suggesting that resistance often formed as protection. By acknowledging the protective function, readers can negotiate with the pattern rather than wage war on it. This approach supports sustainable change because shame rarely produces growth. Practical progress comes from noticing triggers, regulating the body, and choosing a different response. Drawing is positioned as a tool for emotional processing that can reduce overwhelm and create a sense of agency. As resistance softens, readers may find it easier to take consistent action, communicate needs, and stay open to opportunities they previously dismissed. Lastly, turning intentions into lived reality through practice and action. The book underscores that intention alone is incomplete without repetition and follow-through. Manifesting is presented as a partnership between inner alignment and outer movement. The drawing practice helps maintain focus, but readers are also encouraged to translate insights into choices, habits, and environments that support the desired outcome. This includes making intentions specific enough to guide behavior, checking whether daily actions match stated goals, and adjusting when reality provides feedback. A key contribution of a creative practice is that it makes the process enjoyable. Many self-help systems fail because they feel like punishment. A brief, consistent drawing ritual can feel restorative, making it more likely that readers will return to it. The book also implies that creating your reality involves responding wisely to uncertainty. Opportunities rarely arrive in perfect packaging, and setbacks often contain information about timing, boundaries, or skill gaps. By returning to meditative practice, readers can regain clarity and choose the next constructive step rather than spiraling into doubt. The long-term payoff is a more deliberate life. You become someone who notices patterns, sets intentions with integrity, and takes action that fits your values. Even when outcomes change, the skills remain. You learn how to reorient yourself, refine what you want, and stay engaged with the process of becoming. In conclusion, this book fits readers who are drawn to spirituality and personal growth, but want a method that feels embodied and creative rather than purely intellectual. It is also a strong match for people who struggle with traditional journaling, overthink their goals, or feel blocked by perfectionism, because the meditative drawing approach makes reflection more accessible. The benefits come from building a repeatable ritual that trains attention, softens emotional resistance, and clarifies intention. When you can see your patterns on the page and return to a calmer state, you are more likely to make choices that support your health, relationships, work, and finances. Over time, that translates into a lived sense of agency and self-trust, which is often what people actually seek when they talk about manifesting. Compared to similar books that focus mainly on affirmations or visualization, this one stands out by giving readers a hands-on practice they can do in short sessions, with a focus on process and consistency. The blend of intuitive symbolism, mindfulness, and actionable reflection makes it worth buying for anyone who wants a creative structure for turning hopes into habits and habits into meaningful change. If you would like to support Colette Baron-Reid, you can buy the book through the Amazon link I've provided in the podcast description. After reading the book, please let me know what you think and share your thoughts. See you around.